Look at that. A dead bird and the ants helping Mother Nature do what she does best, which is recycle. I show you that because I thought it would be relevant to my point today. What's up, everybody? It's your boy Dr. Black, and today I want to talk about some recommendations I have as a man to the ladies, and especially my fellow feminists. Even if you're not a feminist, if you're just a woman, I imagine some of this information will be helpful. I think a lot of women would like to know the perspective of a man on a topic or on a subject. And as a feminist, I think I can help give a unique perspective, because I feel like I'm not going to say something typical or something chauvinistic, which we all got to avoid, or something that's just from a male perspective or biased to men, but something that has both the consideration of the female point of view and the male point of view. I'm obviously not a female, but feminism helps anyone, male or female, understand the female point of view. Just like if you study a scientific subject, you want to understand the subject in its entirety and not just have one-sided view. Like, let's say you're a zoologist and you want to understand biology about animals, especially non-human animals, and you wouldn't just say, well, I'm a zoologist, so I'm only going to learn about quadrupeds. You're going to want to learn about bipeds. You're going to want to learn about avians. You want to learn about reptiles and mammals, and so you don't have to be something to understand something. You don't have to be something to understand the perspective. And I think, matter of fact, perspective is a beautiful word. And I aspire to give perspective on my channel, because the people who are afraid of the word feminist, the people who are afraid of feminism growing, those people are mostly conservative, and conservative people in general fear what's outside their box, and they have a really hard time with perspective. And so I don't have a hard time with perspective. I can totally empathize, and I can only empathize with women, but I can empathize and sympathize with another person's perspective, because I think it makes you a better human being. I think as you become a better human being, your ability to empathize increases. And we should all inspire to be the best version of ourselves, the best human beings we can be, especially those of us who are humanists, who understand that humanity is the only option we have for anything better. The other animals on the planet aren't teaching us how to be better. They can come to our aid if we train them, but most of them are living their own lives, and they're living basically on instincts, and we're the only creatures so far that we've discovered that have anything more than instincts, that have the mental capacity for complex thoughts and communication of those thoughts. Maybe some of the other animals have complex thoughts, but we have yet figured out how to communicate with them, and we haven't found any life off of this beautiful planet Earth. So one of my suggestions is for ladies, start considering that you have to be independent and self-sufficient. The manosphere is out here saying black women are no good and they don't want them. And to me, that's funny, it's hilarious, and that's fine. Why does a person care if another person doesn't want them? Imagine that you're walking down the street and someone stops you and to have a small chat and start talking to you, and they say, well, all right, well, I'm out of here, I don't want you. And you would think, maybe that's weird, but what if you're married? If you're married, you don't care if that guy or girl who walked away doesn't want you, because you have your own relationship. Or you don't care if that person said they don't want you from a business perspective because you're employed. So if you have your own, you can care less about what other people want of yours, because if you're self-sufficient, if you have self-respect, if you have self-confidence, you can care less about other people who lack that, or who just simply want to state that they aren't interested in you. And I feel like a lot of people in the space of the manosphere or feminism or stuff, a lot of people are focused on trying to get acceptance from others. We all know, those of us who are adults especially know, that you'll never be accepted by everyone. There isn't anyone who's accepted by anyone. If you're a religious person, even Jesus wasn't accepted by his tribe, the Jews, or Muhammad Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, wasn't accepted by everyone. You may be great to some, but you'll never be great to everyone. You know, Constantine wasn't accepted by everyone. I mean, what great leader was accepted by everyone? George Washington, some people forget, though the president of the United States is still labeled as a criminal in the UK, in Britain. He's a traitor over there. So you can't be accepted by everyone. And women, you got to understand that, and you have to accept that. And I think you should not only accept it, but embrace it. Be the best version of you, and you get to choose. You get to decide what the best version of you is, what it looks like, and then you get to work at it and promote it and excel at it. And so other people who aren't interested in the best version that you've decided to be of yourself, they're irrelevant. There's almost 8 billion people on the planet. You don't need to be with men. Ladies, if you're out there in the dating game, you don't need to be with men. You don't need to settle down with men. You need to find a man. And if you're a polygamist, you might find one or two. But why would you concern yourself with, you know, a couple hundred, a couple thousand, hell, a million, a billion people not being interested in you? What does it have to do with the one or two people who are interested in you? And you're not even going to have to worry about one or two, right? The more numbers, the more options you have. What you got to find is the best compatible people to keep in your sphere. And I feel like a lot of women are bogged down with this pressure of, oh man, I got to date and I got to get out there and these people want me and I got to do this and that for these guys to like me. Listen, if you go into every group, no one group is a monolith, right? Black men are not a monolith. Black women are not a monolith. Everyone has nuance and differences. If you go into one group and say, man, I have to act like that for this one group, you know what you're doing? You're setting yourself up for failure because you may not find a compatible person in that one group. And then you're ignoring all the other groups, or you're leaving the other opportunities in those other groups where someone could be more compatible for you by trying to conform yourself to just one group. And that's what conservative thinking does. Conservative thinking puts you in a box, makes you feel like you have to be in a box, and makes you feel like your options to do the right thing are very limited. And you shouldn't do that to yourself. There's always more than one way to skin a cat, as I used to say. There's many right answers. There's rarely just one right answer. And you have to believe in yourself, and you have to build the courage and the respect for yourself so that you can go out there and find the best version of yourself for yourself, and then expect that from others, or hold others to the expectation that they're going to respect the best version of you. And it's not a difficult thing. It's not a losing game. You know, no one's perfect. You'll never be perfect. Don't bother trying, but just be the best version of you, and someone will appreciate that. Someone out there is ready to accept the best version of you. You just have to go out there and do it. And so my point today is, ladies, you don't have to conform to these conservative ideals and to these little boxes. And we really don't have to listen to what men have to say about what you have to be, because you're not going to be with men. What you have to do is commit yourself to the best version of yourself, and then promote the best version of yourself so that other people who may possibly appreciate and be compatible with the best version of you can find you and connect with you. It's too easy these days to connect. You don't have to give up. There's no reason to give up. There's no reason to be disappointed or downtrodden or depressed. You know, yes, a certain kind of man who has a certain kind of look may be ideal, but that's shallow, right? It won't last. No one's looks last forever. Even your beauty as a woman won't last forever. No look will last. After you get past the looks, getting to the more substantive things, that's what you have to invest your time and energy and thoughts into, because you may get a certain look, you may not. But that should be the first thing you are able to compromise on. You may have to compromise on looks. And it's not even that you may. At some point, you will have to compromise on looks. At some point, you will have to compromise on everything physical, because the human body has a time limit. It degenerates. All right? So you will have to compromise on that, and be prepared to compromise on it sooner than later. But the things you don't have to compromise on is quality and character and career and focus and drive and a vision. Where you want to go, you should be going down that path with someone else who also wants to go down that path, versus trying to drag someone along because, yeah, they have a lot of potential and they might be great later on. So that's my first set of suggestions for today. I hope you think about it. I hope it's helping people to understand the value of feminism, and take care. One love.